So we are closing in on 200,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which I never ever thought would happen. So I just want to say thank you, first of all. And then secondly, if you aren't subscribed, if you do enjoy the content, because you really shouldn't subscribe if you don't enjoy the content. And obviously, my job, my goal is to provide good content. That doesn't always work. Sometimes I only provide bad content, but I promise I'm going to keep working on it. Promise I'm going to keep getting better. So if you do enjoy the content, or at least enjoy me making a fool of myself, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. I cannot tell you how much just a simple like and a comment do for the algorithm. Share the video, the channel, like all those things. It means a lot. If not, I totally understand. I know I'm not always the best at liking and commenting and subscribing, so I totally get it. But I just want to start out the video that way, I guess, because I'm weird. Destined Rivals has made a lot of noise lately in the Pokemon card market. Obviously, we had a restock of booster boxes on the Pokemon Center website. It does seem like there's a small restock of boxes at distros. The only problem is that those booster boxes are included in pre-release kits, so they're more expensive. Market price on Destined Rivals booster boxes is starting to climb back up to about $400. But the good thing is, and the important thing to remember is, there are other products out there. Like if you're somebody who just wants to open packs and just wants to enjoy the hobby as much as possible during this crazy time, the more booster packs that hit the secondary market is a good thing, because that drives the cost down for those loose booster packs. Don't worry all the time about booster boxes. Yeah, booster boxes are kind of like the capstone product for a set release, and a lot of times people love them, right? They love to collect them, they love to open them, they think there's more consistency as far as pull rates go. I promise you that's not the case. If you open up 36 loose packs of Destined Rivals, you're probably going to get the same pull rates as what you got out of a booster box, because that's just how they print products. It's not like they print better pull rates in a specific product than they do in something else. So having more Destined Rivals booster packs come out is really, really good, because it's going to help fulfill a need on the secondary market for singles, because singles, which we'll look at today, are a little bit high and kind of climbing a little bit. And then also loose booster packs, just the opportunity for people to enjoy ripping packs and maybe trying to chase after this specific card that they want. It's not always easy when booster packs are above $8 a piece and MSRP on them is $4.50. So this is the Mega Latias EX box, which just came out. This came out 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago now. And it's got 2 booster packs of Mega Evolution in it, which is cool. And it's also got 2 packs of Destined Rivals in it, which is cool. So a very, very good pack selection in a new collection box. When Pokemon puts out collection boxes, sometimes there's a sigh, because there's never always great quality control. There's not always great pack selection inside. But lately, Pokemon hasn't put out a ton of collection boxes. And it looks like I used to order, when you could order whatever you wanted from distro, I used to order 30 cases of every single collection box, just to have for inventory, just to have for pack breaks and things like that. I would order 30 cases. Over the past 9 months now that you get force allocated stuff again from distro, much like what we did at the pandemic, I've never been anywhere close to getting 30 cases of a new product until these came out. Mega Latias EX, I did end up getting 36 cases of. So that's super strong, considering the fact that the market has gotten to a point where there's so many different stores and rip and shippers that distros need to provide product for. The fact that we're getting back to a normalcy as far as allocations go is very exciting. So you may have seen some of these in stores. If not, keep an eye out, because it does have goated pack selections in it. And then we've got the Salamence EX and Reshiram EX Premium Collection Box. This comes out this upcoming Friday. This was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago, but it got delayed. We talked about delayed a couple days ago in our last video. This has 10 packs in it. 5 of them are Surging Sparks, and then 5 of them are Destined Rivals. So more Destined Rivals that is going to be hitting the secondary market. I actually got more of these than I did of the Mega Latias EX boxes. So use that information for what you want. These obviously are going to be as much in supply as what the Mega Latias EX boxes were. So keep an eye out. If you're going hunting this weekend or something and you're looking for Destined Rivals to crack, yeah, it comes with 5 Surging Sparks, which isn't a bad set by any means. It's a fun set. You get 5 Destined Rivals and 5 Surging Sparks. No Mega Evolution, which is unfortunate, but the fact that half the packs in here are Destined Rivals is a huge win, because that's going to help bring that booster pack price down on the secondary market, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. It's dropped a few percentage points, but not a lot, those loose booster packs for Destined Rivals. So we're going to see at what point we really want this to get to. Now, obviously, it's going to be tough, because because as more product gets opened, the single market is going to fall also. So if you're somebody who's looking to open packs, or if you're somebody who's looking to open just buy singles, this could be a really good thing. So we're going to look at the fun cost. I call it the fun cost of Destined Rivals right now. What that is basically we associate a price with every single card, what it sells for, as far as like ultra rares go. So double rares, ultra rares, illustration rares, special illustration rares, and then the hyper rares that are all in Destined Rivals. And then we take that and we multiply it by the pull rate for what you're expected to get. So we average everything out, and then we multiply it by the pull rate for what you're supposed to get out of each of those categories, and then we add it up to see what you're actually expected to pull value-wise out of your Destined Rivals booster box or your 36-pack sample size of Destined Rivals. Once we get that number, we look at the price per pack that Destined Rivals is going for right now, and we subtract the average value that you're supposed to get out of your booster pack to determine what your fun cost is. So a fun cost is basically what it costs you to enjoy something. So you go bowling, you spend a certain amount of money to get into the bowling alley to buy the games, to buy the shoes, and then you, let's say you spend $50 for you and your family to go bowling. Is it worth it? Is that $50 worth of fun that you're having? Or you go to a movie and you pay $50 for your family to go see a movie. Is that movie that you're watching worth that $50 for that couple hour stretch of time? So that's what the base of this information is. So I'm going to go through it relatively quickly so that way you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collection dollars. So this is the information that we're going to look at. And like I said, we're going to go through it relatively quickly. So we've got everything laid out as far as rarity categories go. So double rares, ultra rares, illustration rares, special illustration rares, and hyper rares. The most interesting thing, in my opinion, about Destined Rivals is that there's not a whole lot of competitive play that happens with Destined Rivals Pokemon cards. So yeah, you have Marnie's Grimmsnarl, which does okay competitively, but it's not great. It's not necessarily top tier. A lot of the decks that are running around are decks like Enzorark and Gardevoir, and then obviously the new Mega Absol and Mega Kangaskhan made a splash at the most recent Pokemon regional event in Milwaukee. But as far as Destined Rivals goes, there's not a ton. Now that could change as the format evolves and as rotation hits early next year, and as there's more support cards that come out. Phantasmal Flames could mix up the meta a little bit, but as far as what drives the price for Destined Rivals Pokemon cards, right now it is simply put demand. It is simply put collectability. It is just people who are looking to rip packs. They're really enjoying Destined Rivals. Maybe there's some FOMO, maybe there's some manipulation, but whatever the case may be, these prices are not really being driven by competitive play, which is interesting because normally in some sets you do have some cards that get a spike because of competitive play, like the Goldango, for example, from whatever set it was, Paradox Rift or Temporal, I can't remember what set it was from. That regular art, that double rare, was selling for $10 to $12. We've seen it before with Charizard EX and Pidgeot EX from Obsidian Flames. We've seen it before with Raging Bolt and Teal Mask Ogerpon. We've seen double rares have value associated with them because of competitive play. Not so much in this set. So if you look in the double rare category, they're all $2 a piece. We're just putting a blanket price on them of $2 a piece as bulk pricing. Now, obviously, $2 isn't the easiest to get for your bulk ultra or your bulk double rares, but I believe if you sell them individually, or you usually can. If you're selling them at a card show, you should probably be able to get $2 a piece for them. When it comes to the ultras, this is where you have a little bit more leeway. These are the full art variants of those double rares that we were just talking about, and there are a lot that are selling for basically bulk prices, like that Yanmega EX, the Satitan EX, the Dondozo EX, the Electivire EX, the Regirock EX, the Mabostiff EX. Those are all basically bulk pricing. But then you have other ones that are worth a little bit more. Now, Arboliva, not really. That one's only $2.53. But the Moltres EX, the Ethan's Moltres EX, is selling for $8.13. The whole trainer silhouette in the background seems to be like a nice gimmick that people are really enjoying. For the longest time in the Scarlet and Violet block, you didn't have ultra rares that were really worth that much at all. They were only worth, $2, $3 a piece. Even when they got to competitive playability, then maybe they would hit double digits. But the fact that you have artwork that's a little bit more enjoyed by the average Pokemon hobbyist right now, you see a little bit higher prices when it comes to these cards. So I think I said $8.13 for Ethan's Ho-Oh. It's actually $8.13 for Rocket's Moltres. It's $7.30 for Ethan's Ho-Oh, which isn't bad either. And Mewtwo EX full art, that one's selling for $22.45. The Cynthia's Garchomp, that one is currently at $6.89, which really isn't bad when you think about it, because that Cynthia's Garchomp EX box had a full art variant in it. It was a little bit different artwork because Cynthia and Garchomp were reversed on the card. But other than that, it's the same thing. You know, it's the same color scheme, same appearance. For the most part, it's the same card. So $6.89, which isn't bad. And Cynthia's Garchomp definitely has a little bit of playability associated with it, so that could be better down the road. The Nidoking EX is selling for $5.19. Crobat EX selling for $3.55. And then the Persian EX, $4.81. And then you have the full art supporters. MC's Hype is at $3.44. Ethan's Adventure is at $5.82. The full art Judge, $2.68. Then you have Archer at $3.86. Ariana at $4.95. Giovanni leading the way for the full art trainers at $8.54. Petrol's at $4.45, and Proton is at $4.33. The illustration rare category, definitely a giant gap between the top and the lowest. And now, Destined Rivals is a fairly large set, so even though pull rates are the same as what we've seen in the past for Scarlet and Violet era sets, where you're getting 3 illustration rares per booster box, you don't have at least this giant Magikarp-like card yet, but also, for the most part, you don't have a bunch of them that are basically selling for, you know, $1.92, like Crustle, or, you know, some of the other cards that have been printed that are super, super cheap as far as illustration rares go. So Yanma's at $4.89. You have Roserade in there at $19. Shaman's at $13.55. This Crustle is at $3.69. Spidops is in there at $6.46. I love that card. I love that artwork. Hydrapple's at $4.88. Rapidash is at $8.92. Typhlosion, one of the more expensive ones in the set, at $35.08. The Houndoom, which is sick. I love that card. $19.72. The Blaziken, very cool, at $14.95. Misty's Psyduck is the most expensive one in the set and has been trending upward. Now, it seems to have not retraced, but at least leveled off a little bit. That one's sitting at $66.04. Misty's Lapras is in there at $36.37. That's the second most expensive illustration rare in the set. Then you've got a bunch of single-digit ones like Clamperl at $4.05, Electrike at $4.10, Rotom at $4.20, Orbeetle's at $4.32, Weezing is at $10.89. Then you have the Murkrow at $9.19, Zamazenta at $5.33, Raticate at $8.49. The Giovanni's Meowth, or Rocket's Meowth, has gone up a little bit. So that one's at $29.57, but it is a really cool looking card. Kangaskhan at $12.40, and then Greedent at $4.23. Now, it's important to look at these cards and then budget, you know, for what price you want to pay for these cards. Maybe you don't want to pay $66 for a Psyduck, and if you miss out on it, you miss out on it. But maybe you're willing to pay $50 for it. So now that there's a bunch of additional Destined Rivals booster packs that are hitting the secondary market, maybe that Psyduck will go down 25%, 20%, something like that, where it does hit, you know, somewhere around that $50 mark. We have a lot of people who are going to be paying attention to not only Mega Evolution, but Phantasmal Flames when that comes out, to the Mega Charizard box when that comes out, to the Prismatic Figure Collection or Pin Collection or whatever it's called when that comes out, if it ever comes out, full release. So there's going to be a lot of attention paid elsewhere. And where everybody else goes, you go somewhere else. So maybe now is the time to start looking at Destined Rivals singles, because now might be kind of the opportunity to buy as more and more packs hit that secondary market. So make a budget, make a plan, and that's when you start kind of attacking. Once you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm willing to pay $50 for this Misty Psyduck. I don't want to wait for it to go back up to $75. I'm just going to pick it up now, and now might be the time to do it once we get some more Destined Rivals packs hitting the secondary market. We should still get like a giant reprint at some point in time, but paying attention now is probably the best route to go. Special illustration rares, for the most part, most of them have increased quite a bit. Yanmega, $37.17. The Moltres is at $152.91. The Ho-Oh EX is up to $241.87. Obviously, that Mewtwo EX has gone insane. That's at $581.99. The Garchomp EX has gone up quite a bit. That's at $293.96. The Nidoking's at $139.20. The Crobat is above $100 now. That's at $101.92. Mabostiff has gone up a lot. That was a $28 card not too long ago. It's at $41.41 right now. Ethan's Adventure has also climbed quite a bit at $61.79. Obviously, playability with that because of Typhlosion, but Typhlosion isn't necessarily the best deck right now in the format. Ariana's at $36.45 and Giovanni at $44.64. The Hyper Rares are a little bit more surprising because gold cards are starting to garnish a little bit of demand, which was never the case before. Now, obviously, you have the trainer silhouette in the background, which does drive more people, it seems like, to that demand category, but very interesting to see how well the hyper rares are doing. So you got Ho-Oh EX already at $37.69 for a gold card. We never had that, right? Like outside of the Chilling Reign Snorlax, we never really had a gold card up until like Pikachu EX that did substantially well in the secondary market. So very interesting to see how well these gold cards are doing from these last couple sets, like this Ho-Oh EX, like the Mewtwo EX, which is sitting there at $77.22. The Garchomp is at $43.54. The Crobat's at $27.88. And even the Jamming Tower and Lavencia. So Jamming Tower is at $20.11 and Lavencia is at $16.18. Both cards doing extremely well in the current market. So what we're going to do is we're going to average all these together to determine the average price point of each rarity category. So I've got that all figured out here on sheet 1. These are your pull rate information right here if you want to pause the video and look at them so you can determine how many packs it takes to pull, you know, an ultra rare or whatever the pull rate looks like. You get 12.89 hits per booster box. You're going to get 1 out of every 3 packs or every 12 packs for illustration rares, yada, yada, yada. So this is your breakdown of how many you're expected to get in your booster box. So you're going to get 3.11 illustration rares in your booster box, 2.27 full art ultra rares, 6.62 double rares, 0.57 special illustration rares, so same as what we've been experiencing really since Temporal Force is on. Every 2 booster boxes, that's what it's going to take to open a special illustration rare. And then average hyper rares is going to be like 1 out of every 3 boxes, so a little bit more difficult there. So then we look at your average value right here. So this is how many you're expected to get per booster or per pack. This is 1 out of every 5.44 packs. Ultra rares, 1 out of every 15.86 packs. You get it there. So then your average rarity category right here. So the average double rare in Destined Rivals sells for $2, right? Like we can easily determine that because every single double rare we associated $2 with that price point. So you pull 6.62 per booster box. If you multiply that times $2, that means your booster box on average is going to have about $13.24 worth of value in that double rare category. So yeah, you might pull 7 double rares and then it would be a $14 booster box, and you might pull 6 double rares and then it would be a $12 booster box as far as value goes from that category, that rarity category, which is double rares. On average, it's going to be $13.24. When it comes to your average ultra rares, a little bit more value, right? Like you're looking at about $5.04 per full art ultra rare. So like that Cynthia's Garchomp, that Nidoking, that Crobat, those are right around that $5 mark. But then you have a little bit more expensive ones like that Mewtwo, which is selling for $22, and the Giovanni, which is selling for $9. So it averages out to about $5.04. You're going to pull 2.27 of them per booster box. That means on average, your value for that rarity category is $11.44 out of your 36-pack sample size. And that's the other thing to remember. It doesn't necessarily have to be a booster box. It could be a 36-pack sample size. You're going to be pulling about 2.27 full art ultra rares, and it's going to yield you about $11.44 in value. When it comes to the illustration rare category, you're getting 3.11 illustration rares per 36-pack sample size. Average value on this is $14.36. Now remember, obviously this could be inflated a little bit because you could pull that Misty's Psyduck, you could pull that Misty's Lapras, and then all of a sudden your value is goated for that specific rarity category. And you could pull the other end of the spectrum like the Yanma and the Crustle, which would really hurt your average value. That's why it's average for a reason. So on average, your illustration rare category should yield you about $44.63 worth of value from your 36-pack sample size. When it comes to special illustration rares, very inflated because of the Mewtwo. So you're going to get 1 every 2 booster boxes. If you open up a booster box that doesn't have 1, then obviously this value is going to hurt a lot because you're not going to get that value at all. On average, you're looking at about $89.43 worth of value from that category out of your booster box. So yeah, you're going to plus if you pull basically any of the Pokemon outside of Mabostiff and Yanmega, but like there's a good chance that you might not pull any, which would bring that average value way down. On average, it's $89.43. You could pull the Mewtwo, which would yield you, $580 worth of value. So $89.43 worth of value out of that special illustration rare category. And then the average hyper rares, you're looking at about $12.03 because you're only going to pull 1 every 3 booster boxes. You could get really lucky and pull a hyper rare and special illustration rare in the same booster box, in which case then your value goes up tremendously. So your average value for that hyper rare is $37.10. Average per booster box, average value is going to be $12.03. So if we add all this together, we add all your hits together, as far as average goes, you are expected to get $170.78 worth of value out of your 36-pack sample size. It could be a booster box, it could be 4 ETBs, it could be 36 sleeve boosters, it could be 36 loose packs, it could be whatever. Doesn't matter. $170.78 is the average that you are looking to get. You know, that's the average of what you can expect out of your booster box. Ancillary value, about $10. Destined Rivals doesn't have a whole lot. Like, it's got the Team Rocket's energy, which has a little bit of value associated with it, but there's no other real gimmicks or strong supporter cards, trainer cards, item cards, things like that that drive up that ancillary value a little bit. So your bulk, your code cards, that's pretty much only going to yield you about $10 of additional value out of that booster box. It means your total value is about $180.78. If you look, now obviously you should never expect to get your value back when it comes to opening up a booster box, but it's $388.49 is the current going market rate for Destined Rivals. It's up a couple dollars today, but $388.49. That means every time you open up that booster box, just opening it up, you can expect to lose at least, you know, $208.49. That's your fun cost to open up a booster box. Now, your average price per pack, as far as value goes, is $5.02. It's not as bad if you're just opening up loose packs. It's still not great. So your pack cost right now is $8.31. This did trend down a little bit. I think it's like $8.12 right now. But, you know, with more packs hitting the secondary market, obviously it could go down to $7 or below $7, in which case this fun cost would be a lot better. So $8.31 is the going rate for a booster pack of Destined Rivals. The average value that you can expect to pull out of that booster pack is $5.02. That means every time you open up a booster pack of Destined Rivals, you can expect to lose $3.29 if you are buying it at market price. If you are buying it at MSRP, you go to the store, you go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to Best Buy, you go to GameStop, and they just happen to have some sleeve boosters sitting there, then you have nothing to worry about. Opening up a pack of Destined Rivals is pretty much right now, the average value that you're going to get out of it is worth MSRP plus tax, which is great. Like, that's really rare to happen. Usually you can always expect to lose money opening up booster packs, but right now you can expect to buy Destined Rivals at MSRP and get the same value out of what you're spending, which is pretty cool. It should never be the case, and obviously a lot of people, and they shouldn't, want to sell, you know, they don't want to sell their cards, they want to collect their cards, but right now getting that value out of it makes you feel like you're winning a little bit, and everybody needs a win right now in the current market. So $8.31 is the going rate. $5.02 is what you can expect to pull out of value. Your fund costs $3.29. That means every time you open up a pack at market price, you are throwing away $3.29 as far as value goes. Now maybe that booster pack is worth $8.31 worth of fun to you, or $3.29 worth of fun to you. And that's fine. That's whatever it is, whatever you want. Like, that's all that matters. Like, if you can have $3.29 worth of fun every time you open up a booster pack, by all means, like, go nuts, open them all, have fun. That's what this hobby is all about. That's what you should do. But I want to put the number and the information out there so that way you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collection dollars, and also as a reminder that maybe now is the time to start looking at Destined Rivals a little bit as these loose pack prices come down a little bit. We saw this with Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies got large reprints and got a lot of booster packs that hit the secondary market, and because of that, it stabilized Evolving Skies booster packs, despite the fact that booster boxes kept climbing. So Destined Rivals booster boxes could easily keep climbing, especially because of all the attention that's on Destined Rivals booster boxes right now from the investing community. But don't worry about that. If you're somebody who just wants to open packs and just wants to have fun, don't worry about what the booster box is doing. Worry about what these packs are doing. Worry about what these loose packs are doing. Maybe you just want to open up some, enjoy it, try and collect some of your chase cards, or all, you know, maybe you want to master the set and you want to open up a little bit to start your master set. Pay attention to what these loose booster packs are doing, because I think they're going to come down a little bit as we get more collection boxes, especially as we enter the holidays. Could level off a little bit. So I want to throw that information out there. Hopefully it's good information. If it is, please consider hitting that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Like I said, it goes a really long way for the algorithm, but ultimately, really just appreciate you guys being here. So thank you so much. I love you guys. We'll be back in a couple days. We will be back in a couple days. Sometimes I just talk as fast as I can and run the words together, so that way I don't have to edit, because I'm terrible at editing. So yeah. All right. I'll see you again on Friday. Till next time. Peace.